We're marching forward into 2016, and Derrell, let's talk about what's going on in the cattle prices.
Well, you know, 2015 was a big transition year from sort of where we were with those breathlessly high prices at the end of 2014, and sort of where we ended 2015 is you know, a good setup for what to expect in 2016. We've made that big adjustment now. So, you know, when we look at the supply side of the industry, production is pretty much as planned. We'll confirm in a few weeks with new data just how much we expanded the herd last year, but we know it's growing. We know that cattle supplies are going to grow over time, and beef production is going to go up in 2016. The thing I think that will change a little bit is on the consumption and trade markets and their impact on things. We've struggled, of course, with exports on beef the last couple of years. We've had a lot of imports because of high prices and the strong dollar. Both of those things are going to moderate a little bit, particularly the imports. And so as beef production goes up in 2016, we're going to see less imports, and the net effect is that we will see a much smaller increase in beef consumption in the U.S., less pressure there than we might have expected. Importantly, pork and poultry are also going to modify in terms of both production and these trade impacts. So the net effect is that total meat supplies will not go up nearly as much in 2016 as they did in 2015. And then we're going to have a more favorable meat market environment in general, even though beef is going to be the one increasing more so this year than the other meats.
When it comes to supply and demand, we usually think of with more supply, the demand and the price will go down. Will that happen with cattle prices?
Well, it is. We know we're in that environment. It's going to happen over time. But again, you know, the net impact in terms of the net increase in supply from a consumer standpoint will be relatively modest in 2016. With those competing meats being a little more favorable, the pressure will not be as much as some people might be expecting here in 2016.
As we move into 2016, it's cold right now, and we've had some snow and some blizzards across the southern Great Plains. How's that going to affect the cattle prices?
Well, you know, winter weather can impact the cattle markets, you know, particularly at the feedlot level. The recent blizzard that we had its most direct impact on the dairy side. We're getting lots of stories now about dairy cow direct death loss, and more importantly, there will be continued production losses from that. It doesn't appear that there was a lot of direct death loss due to the storm in terms of feedlot cattle or generally beef cattle out in the country, but certainly there will be impacts from the colder weather. Across much of the middle part of the country, conditions are generally wet and cold and muddy, and all of that is impacting cattle. The biggest noticeable impact will be reducing carcass weights, reducing performance on these cattle, which not only affects the people selling them, but it will be a big enough collective effect to have some impact on the market as well. Let's talk about pasture and forage real quick. You know, from a bigger drought perspective, we're in as good a shape as we've been in a number of years. We continue chipping away at it. This El Nino is turning out to be a very strong event and behaving or giving us the kind of sort of predictable moisture that we're seeing, even in the west areas in California where the drought is still very severe, but we're chipping away at it, and it looks like we'll make significant progress. We're going to start 2016 growing season in the best conditions we've had probably in general nationwide that we've had in a number of years.
Okay, thank you much. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.